We are live.
Wow.
Yay!
Imagine
That's
that.
one.
Back from New York. I'm back from New York. You guys didn't go to New York with me.
Hey, we got over 500 followers on our Facebook page.
Ooh.
I didn't think
Hello,
it was that
500
high.
followers.
I didn't
How
think
you
we were in
doing?
triple digits.
Thank you for subscribing.
We're in double digits. All right, there's a
Stupid
red circle
thumbnail. I
around
look
our
like I'm
logo.
mad.
You are mad. We all look
Yeah.
bored. What kind of thumbnail is that?
Well, I'm going, when does it take the it took the picture right then. Okay, never mind.
It always takes a picture at the worst time. That's my caption this time. It always takes the screenshot at the worst time.
While the
Mhm.
cameras are on. That's
Right.
If you're talking, there's never a good time to pause either because you always get that,
Yep.
goofy face. I did a lot on when I was editing my own videos going, man, I make some goofy faces. They're like little micro expressions.
Well, that's what I'm
You
doing.
do
The
it all the
screen
time.
captures. I'm, when I do the screen captures for the stuff that we show, it's like, oh no, awkward. Nope, we're
Yep.
not using that one.
Yep. All right. We'll see if somebody shows up. If not, thanks for watching us afterwards.
Indeed.
Join us live.
Thanks for watching
Sometime.
whenever you watch.
A lot of fun. Or listening when you listen. Oh, we haven't started the listening part yet.
Well, they're listening to us do this right now.
Yeah. If we're in another browser tab, let us out.
Ooh,
Be kind. Rewind.
no. Rewind. Is
sound
that
effects.
is rewind still something anyone says? I wonder. Rewind. I mean,
I don't think I've used that word a lot in my life, but I don't think in the last 20 years I've used it much at all.
because you would say what Nan said, go back
Let's
rather than rewind.
A lot of people say we'll circle back.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're watching a video, you wouldn't say rewind the video. You would just say go back to that part, right?
Unless you're doing like a classic music or a classic rock rewind.
Then you throw back. And you hope somebody's there to catch it because otherwise it's just gonna fall on the ground.
And even if you
Right.
take that little scrubber on the bottom of your YouTube video, you're not you feel like you're rewinding it, but you're not.
Right. These are not the sort of questions we ask on the Topic is Trek, except obviously this is Topic is Trek and we're asking it right now. So who knows? Maybe it is.
And you may ask yourself, "Hell, how did I get here?"
For those of you who lived through the 80s and had cassette tapes
And pencils.
and pencils, they go hand
Hey,
in
we
hand.
got a couple of viewers on there. Thank you for joining
Woo-hoo.
us. We're just double checking audio and getting ready to go with the audio recording. Now that we are all set.
Oh, wait, we got one message from
That's the
StreamYard.
StreamYard one.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Always there.
Yeah,
well, at least it's always there for us.
that's right.
Okay.
All right. Let me
The big question is, good Charlie or bad Charlie this week?
that will be the question indeed.
Dealer's
Right.
choice.
You ready?
I was born ready. It's been downhill ever since. Yes.
Mhm. You peaked at age 0.
Yes.
In 3, 2.
This is The Topic is Trek, episode 187 for Friday, September 26, 2025. Coming up in this episode, the Star Trek universe comes to New York. The Enterprise crew is turning Vulcan. I really think so. The return of a classic alien planet plot. Ooh, say that 3 times fast. All that and more right now on The Topic is Trek. Hit Monster Sushi. Welcome to The Topic is Trek, the podcast that runs on impulse power. Join us for a journey where no show has gone before. If it has to do with Star Trek, there's a good chance we'll talk about it sooner or later, because on this show, the topic is Trek. Engage already. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another thrill-packed edition of The Topic is Trek. I am Clinton, one of your co-hosts here on the show. And in order to be a co-host, I must have other hosts with me. I must, absolutely must. And so first, beaming in to join me from parts unknown with the hip new catchphrase you may possibly be talking about someday in the future, who knows, is Mr. Craig Stepp.
I have the power.
Okay, well, I don't know. When does He-Man take place? Is that the past or the future? I'm not even sure. I don't.
Actually, I think He-Man is in the Star Trek universe. It's just they're kind of separate.
Oh, I did not know that. It's one of those
Yes.
crossovers. Oh,
Yeah,
very neat.
that's right. You don't remember that episode?
I don't. It must have been in the original animated series, I guess.
Right.
Certainly the animation would have fit right in. But also being in to join us from other parts unknown. We really don't know where all these parts are. Parts are parts is Mr. Chuck Tomasi.
And the question on everybody's mind is, does He-Man use renewable energy? Where does he get that power?
I don't know. And disease, it's like,
Windmills.
oh, like
He's out there stoking a coal furnace.
Yes.
It was the 80s, kids.
He's using this sword to stoke the fire.
lots of batteries in that sword, I guess. I don't know. Well, how have both of you been since last we talked here on the show?
When did we last talk? It was a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah,
We've
yeah.
done a show since Dragon Con. Doing well. I'm getting more into the groove of retirement every day.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah, and in the sense that he's throwing things out. It's I'm done with this. I'm done
Well,
with
and
that.
I'm being thrown out of things that I used to have access to.
Right.
Oh, well, that's a sign right there. We're changing the locks on that. So
Yeah, changed a lot. I'm doing pretty good. Not much going on other than work, and the con season is behind us. So
Keeping our websites up.
keeping
Yeah,
the web.
really.
Well, that's another thing. Yeah, this one included. So yeah.
and I'm just back today from a very quick round trip to New York City. Last night, my wife and I saw Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter doing Waiting for Godot on Broadway.
I'm
That-
jealous. I
that's
really
not-
wanted to see that.
Title is not Waiting for Godot on Broadway. You understand? It's Waiting for Godot, but it's anyway, it's a long
I'm
story.
waiting for Godot on Broadway. Literally.
Yes, yes. He should be here.
This is the address he gave us, right?
No, it was the Winter Garden Theater. I'm sorry, you're at the wrong place. But yes, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. They did one, in case people are asking, they did one reference to Bill and Ted, and that was in the second act. So you had to wait to get there. So
Yeah.
that was
Did they say Socrates?
no, they did not. They did. There's no phone booth or anything like that. Very,
No.
very different play than a lot of. I was kind of surprised. There was some people sitting behind us who really didn't know about the play, and I mean, it's not a new play. Waiting for Godot has been done
Yeah.
an awful lot. Matter of fact, Sir Patrick and
Mhm.
Steve McKellen did a version of it, and we were talking while we were waiting in line. We weren't sure if they did it on Broadway or in the West End in London. I don't know. I said, "Oh, I'll look
I
that
think
up
it
when I
was
get
in
home."
London. You may. I think it was. I don't know for sure, but I think it was. I don't think it was on
Yeah.
Broadway.
And then we were trying to figure out, well, who did which part because they both do it. So I'm gonna look that one up afterwards. But right now the topic is Trek, not talking about Sir Patrick Stewart. Come on, let's
Yeah.
be real.
Got to sneak
That's what
him
it
in.
was about Picard. Sorry.
Mhm. And so we are going to begin our first main mission with an appropriate sound effect.
How about this one?
That's the Adams Family ticker tape.
Yes.
The Enterprise punch card machine.
And as cousin it would say,
Yeah.
And Thing would say,
Yeah.
and Lurch would say,
because on this show, the topic is the Addams Family.
Right.
Now you know why we named this show what we did. It's to keep ourselves on track.
That's
Yeah.
right. What's the name of the show again?
The-
All right. So why don't I have Chuck, why don't you give us a little background on what we're talking about? Oh, by the way, there's spoilers because we're talking about episodes 8 and 9 of the the now just concluded season of Strange New World. So pause if you haven't.
Alert. Spoiler alert.
You have been warned.
All right. So give us the lowdown.
All right, this is Strange New Worlds, Season 3, Episode 8, titled 4.5 Vulcans. 4.5 out of 5 recommend sugarless gum for their
It's a
cadets who
Meatloaf
choose.
song, isn't it? Anyway.
Yeah, 4.5 out of 5 ain't bad. This is written by Dana Horrigan, not Horrigan,
No.
and Henry Alonzo Myers, directed by Jordan Canning. So members of the crew are transformed into Vulcans to execute a mission, but trouble arises when they try to revert back to humans.
Silly humans. All right. I was doing a lot of thinking about this episode, and I have thoughts. But
I'm sure.
As he always does.
as I always do.
Hmm.
But overall, let's do top line here. How did you guys feel about this episode? Was it a merry romp for you? Did you have fun with it? And
I think about half and half.
Yes.
There was a lot of subtle and humorous things, and then there were other stuff that was like, I don't know, just 100% didn't ring true for me.
When,
about you?
yeah,
when they got back on the Enterprise, the mission was over. Why did they stay in Vulcan outfits? They're
Yeah.
still Starfleet officers.
yeah.
Logical not have to change your clothes all the time.
Yeah, so you have to do that on your fourth shift on the third day. I don't know. It starts right off with this whole idea of how the serum works. It's like I didn't necessarily think it was like, oh, it's going to change, humans into Vulcans, even if they were never Vulcans to begin with, type of thing. That that's not what the serum was developed for.
Right.
And then apparently the serum not only changes you into a Vulcan very quickly,
Yeah.
it allows you to, what did they say? It use Spock's experiences. I'm going, what part of that is part of the serum? And then it changes your hairstyle at the same time.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious. Like when Pike went on the floor and you didn't see him for a moment, and when he came up, his hair was like perfectly straight.
Twice as tall as it usually is.
I just wish they hadn't, I mean, that's such a reveal to make that the thing we saw like a year and a half ago, it feels like.
Yeah.
As the
There,
clip.
there were
they
some
showed.
comical moments, like when they had first converted, and Pike turns at a 90-degree angle to Spock, awaiting an answer, and then he walks over to Mbenga and does the same thing, and he's so in his space, he just awkwardly stomps over there and goes, stern face, looking at Mbenga's right ear.
Well, my feeling was that Anson Mount was basing an awful lot of that on the Thermians from Galaxy Quest. It just seemed to have that.
Yes. Okay.
I would think so too.
The intro, of course, the voiceover was done as his Vulcan character.
Mhm.
A little too stilted, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Now, I haven't met enough Vulcans to make a judgment call on whether or not he's a good Vulcan or not. But
Yeah.
that one just felt like it was a bit over the top. And I know Strange New Worlds is known for going a bit over the top sometimes.
I will say also one of the things that I thought stood out to me was Ethan Peck's playing a Vulcan, trying not to show emotion like frustration, because he even there was with the first time he goes, perhaps y'all should be confined to quarters until we can. It's thinking I don't want them roaming the ship.
Yeah, really.
Things like
you're
that.
right. It was a combination of Ethan Peck's acting, letting us know what he's feeling without letting us know what he's feeling.
Yeah, he
Mhm.
just
There
turned
was
his
also
head.
a lot of camera work in there too, because when they were, I think it was in the transporter, the camera like zeroed in on him to get
when he's-
that expression.
Right, because that's when Pike says 4.5 Vulcans to beam down, and he just like, what?
Or in one half.
Yeah, you get this look on just Ethan Peck's face, like I wish he'd quit saying that.
Well,
Yeah.
and that's one of the things I thought was weird about this episode, though, is that we just got through an episode where Spock, I don't know what you would kind of,
Transformed.
well, no, where Spock, let's say, did some damage to himself, because of the taunting he had gotten as a child. And now they're all doing that to him. And he said that in that episode, he said that Starfleet was a way to explore his human half without, any issues. And suddenly it's like in his face
Yeah,
by his crew.
that's right. Yeah.
That just seemed like
Hey,
an odd choice.
or like when they came back from their away mission at the beginning, and he's the only one carrying all the bags.
Mhm. Beneath them. And why do you need a Lurpa for this? And all this.
Yeah, that one, you knew that slow-mo hallway walking scene was coming, but, did we need the Lirpa? And I was watching him twirl that thing, and Anson's got these long, like metal extensions off the cuffs of his sleeves. How he didn't injure his hand making that little spin move. I watched that going, that looks dangerous just as an actor to try and do that maneuver.
It's interesting. They showed the shooting of that scene, at least one take. And for pacing, they use Sabotage as the song that they're walking to.
Of course. Is that the only song they have from the
Apparently
century?
that's yeah, I was going to say that's-
They licensed the rights, are going to make the most out of it.
Yeah.
they didn't use that in the episode, but I thought, I don't know, at this point, sure, throw it in. That would have been fine, but probably couldn't afford it. So
Hey, I will say something else outside of them being Vulcan. When Pike's reactions to a couple of things, like when they got the phone call that Maria was going to be appointed or offered a job, and he went,
yeah.
I thought he was going to spin his head off his shoulders.
What?
Yeah, that, and when he realized some of the bad decisions he made as a Vulcan,
Immediately covers his ears. It's like,
he
oh
got
my
the
God.
screenshot on there, and he's basically slapped his head. I'm like, wow, that's an overreaction there.
Yeah, I think he said, I made some bad choices. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that was the other thing, talking about getting into the fact that you have these 4 humans that get transformed into Vulcans. And I was trying to make sense of what they were doing here, because you have some of them. All right. La'an, she becomes very Romulan-like, and
Right.
Spock makes allusion to the fact that because some of her DNA is Khan's DNA, that it's like also wrapping into that. We find out that it's a bit more than that, but okay. So we're going with that one. Then we have Uhura is communications, and she says right after she's changed, or when they come back from the mission, that she never found her communications to be as super efficient as they are now. Chapel has always been into science, and she wants to do the stuff with Roger Corby that has to do with science and exploration and so forth. Makes sense. Pike, I felt like they didn't have a hook, and they just threw everything at him. It's like he's cleaning up. He's really neat. He's doing this thing. He's being super efficient on. It's like nothing was ringing with who he is.
the only thing I could pull. You're right. I think you're right. But the only thing I can think of is a crew switching assignments where they had to go on and off duty every 42 minutes or 40.
Well,
I have yet to figure out how that's going to be a productivity booster, because you would never get any rest, and you'd constantly be communicating about, oh, Craig, you're coming off shift, I'm coming on shift. You have to have more communications more frequently. That doesn't make things more productive. That's a complete waste.
Yeah. So I felt like what they did in the season was try to layer in the stuff that was going to get amplified for these other characters, but they didn't do any of that for Pike, and they just said, he'll be this stuff. I don't know. And
he was just more irritating than the rest mostly, but there was a positive outcome.
Mm-hmm. Although that positive outcome, again, I have issues with this episode.
Yeah.
Because essentially Batel just yells at Basalt and Pike, and that somehow convinces Basalt to say, "Oh, I want you to be the head of Starfleet Judicial Department because you demonstrated a clear vision for the department. What, of yelling at people and
Actually,
insulting them?"
honestly, he was probably he felt like he got busted for a favor in Vulcans and said, "I just got to give this to her."
I'm thinking, what exactly was it that she said that demonstrated this clear vision for the department that convinced him that I didn't really think that much of you, and now, oh, you clearly should head the department.
And would an emotional outburst really sway a Vulcan?
Well, not only that, but would an emotional outburst really work in a courtroom?
Hey. You said you don't know many Vulcans, so apparently it does work, Chuck.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, beat that over my head
Hey,
again, are you?
and by the way, as far as Lon goes, and she was showing her Romulan streak.
Mhm.
You know, the Romulans and the Vulcans were obviously one race at one point. So I kept thinking, you know, 1 out of every 4 Vulcans has that
Yeah.
streak.
Well, and I was also wondering if, and I don't know if they really like confirmed that that was it, because clearly she's having these issues with intimacy, and she's not sure how to deal with that. And there is this DNA that she has
Right.
that maybe it is actually not, she's not really a Romulan side coming, because the Romulans developed from Vulcans on Romulus. So there should be no connection there of her having a reaction to something based on Spock's background, who doesn't
Mhm.
know that Romulans are Vulcans.
Right. Yeah,
So
not at this point. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, she apparently knows because they both, and this is something I did not get a chance to investigate. That, all right, I can understand her knowing about her encounter with Romulans because she clearly still remembers her time travel experience. And even though she says she doesn't say that she tapped into her own knowledge, she just said recently been made aware
Mhm.
of this thing that I'm not supposed to talk about, because section 31 said don't talk about, oh no, not section 31, the temporal
Yeah.
police said don't talk about this. Okay, at the end of though um the season 1 episode where we go into the alternate timeline where Pike is still in charge of the Enterprise and things go horribly wrong, that is his encounter with the Romulans. Did that knowledge come back with anybody? Did anybody remember that when that, well, yeah, okay. Now I'm thinking about, yes, it comes back with Pike, and I don't know if he shared it with anybody, because then his future self says, "See, this is the bad
Mhm.
things that can happen." All right, so they didn't become aware of it for documents. They became aware of it because they know it already, right? So that, I guess
Oh, I
that makes
see.
sense,
Oh.
right?
Hmm.
So they both know about Romulans and who they are, but they're not sharing that information.
Wow.
And then
Okay. Yeah.
we get, I listed this under frequent guest stars, because we have Battelle, and Kirk shows up again for
Yep.
really no good reason.
Oh,
Paul
yeah, let's have a
Wesley,
drink with
guest
Scotty.
star. What's
Yeah,
that?
because he's going to
Let's
hang
have a
around.
drink with Scotty.
Yeah, well, first going to try to hang around with Sam, and you miss Sam. So he says, "Oh, let's go have a drink." And hey,
Did we
Aslan,
really
come
miss
along.
him? Did we really miss Sam? I'm just kidding.
I don't know. Maybe we was
Hey, be
his
nice.
mustache. I don't know. So then they end up in a merry romp with a very dangerous person who wants to arm the ship. And
Mhm.
it was interesting that several times Kirk says that I've known Vulcans and I've really never seen any Vulcan act like Lon is acting in this. So clearly something is off. And you also have um, number one and Spock talking, and you know about Lon. Yes, that could become a problem. No one's doing anything about it. They're
Yep.
just letting her roam the ship and do stuff. Scotty's the only one that does something, and it finally gets her zapped and unconscious.
Yeah.
Speaking of number one and Spock,
You're going to talk about Doug now?
yes,
Yeah.
Doug.
I was gonna say, when are we getting to that? Okay.
Susan.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So they have to bring in a Katra expert because apparently your Katra does not change even if other elements of you change. And Una happens to know a Katra expert who, by coincidence, lives pretty close to. By the way, this is the Mugatu situation. At the beginning of the episode, number one says it's Permenti, and then when she talks about it later, it's Pimenti. So its emphasis is on different syllables at different times, depending on which part of the episode you're listening to it. But so this expert she used to be a thing with, and their relationship would go on and off and on and off and on and off, and we've learned out why, because she turns into goo around him.
Yeah.
Blathering idiot. It's just it's very awkward. And she gets herself into the wacky situation of saying that she married Spock.
And they have
I know,
children.
that was like, I was like, what did you say that for? And so did Spock.
Yeah. We have children. We do.
And,
like
and
the-
Doug can see right through it. Later, he asks Spock straight up, "You are not married, are you?"
Yeah. And we got used to seeing a surprise Spock on this episode.
Right.
Like,
And that was the other thing, is that I felt like this episode kind of cheapened Charades, which was the one where Spock was human,
mhm.
because that
Yeah.
had ups and downs. It had, it had funny stuff going on. It had very serious stuff going on. There was like a whole range of emotions. You get to really experience this one character totally being a fish out of water, and Ethan Peck
Yeah.
did a wonderful job with that. And now you like up it by 4, and it makes no sense, and it just starts and stops, and it's done, and that's that.
I'd have to say the best part of the show was the ending
The tags,
with Spock and Doug.
yes, yeah. So
That is what I'm
Is-
saying.
yes, is
Yeah.
that not what I'm saying? Isn't that what I'm saying? Isn't. I have done it. I am human.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was unclear to me whether or not those were, there were too many for them to be a scene. But I was talking to Bonnie about it, saying, I think what happened was maybe it was going to be a scene, like a little snippet, because he said he was going to discuss humans. Spock said, I'll tell you what I know about humans if you help us with the Katra thing. And when they said, well, let's try some other things. Let's try this. Let's try that. And I can see Patton going, how about we also do this? And they just threw everything in the book.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
pull my finger,
Mhm.
cheese.
Right.
That must have just been hysterical to watch unfold, whether it was improv or scripted. I don't know if I could have been off camera and not laughed.
Yeah.
So yeah, even Ethan is I think he said, okay, cut, because it's around the corner, and he just couldn't hold it any longer at that point.
Probably right.
All right, so the old clock on the wall says it's time for a wrap up and ratings. What do we want to rate this on? We could do Katras,
Lirpas.
Lirpas.
Pointy ears, because they really blew the budget on pointy ears in this episode.
Yeah, really. We never even mentioned it, so we'll rate them on Tazar, the planet that they have
Okay.
to do the nuclear reactor. So on Tazars.
Rhymes
Okay,
with
now there's-
bizarre,
Yeah.
which is appropriate.
All
Yeah.
right, I'll start off.
right.
I'll beat the canary in the coal mine and say I'm giving this one. I'm giving this one a 4.
Wow.
I just felt like it so exactly, Eric. I just felt like it so undercut Charades and how wonderful that was, and just kind of threw that away. It reminded me an awful lot of how they threw away Under the Cloak of War by having
Yeah.
Mbenga state the thing outright this season. I felt like this is another one of those. We don't need that. We don't
Yeah.
need that. You're just undercutting something. And the fact that it was so thrown to the wind that they stand up and their hairdos are, they've grown hair, they've got braided hair.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. Even Doug, when Doug says he's an expert on humans and he doesn't know any of these things that Spock is telling him at the end, it's like, what exactly did you spend your life learning about humans? I don't even understand that.
Yeah.
No one does anything about law. It's like that might be a problem. I just felt like, not laugh at the moment, but it doesn't age well in a second viewing.
No, I had a hard time with the second viewing.
Yeah, I think I did as well.
All right, well, let's go to you, Craig.
I was not looking forward to that second
Yeah.
viewing.
I'm going to give it a
Tazars-
6.5.
Okay.
I liked it a little more than a 4, but I think I enjoyed it enough where, because of some of the humor, I didn't think about it undercutting charades, because that was an awesome episode. I didn't think about, I'm sorry, not because it was awesome. It was an awesome episode of itself. I didn't think about how this could undercut that. But some things were really ridiculous. So what did I say, 6? I say 6, 6.5, 6.
They even stole the line because in charades, Spock says Vulcans can be jerks.
Yeah, that's right.
And they take that line verbatim and throw it into this one. Going, Okay, what about you, Chuck?
I'm going with a 6 as well. I thought there was enough humor in here to salvage it a bit, but on the whole, not on the top 5 list.
Yeah.
One thing that I wanted to mention, it's unclear, is it just in La'an's visions when she's talking with Spock? Because clearly that the fight scene is not on the actual ship. The fight scene is
In her mind.
In her mind, there are beluga whales swimming around.
Mm-hmm.
And so you assume that's cetacean ops, but we don't see it anyplace else other than there. And matter of fact, you've got windows on the side as well as the circle where they're swimming around going, okay, but that's not really the ship. That's in her head. So
she's been watching a lot of Lower Decks.
That's right.
Well, I was actually, when Kirk got knocked to the floor and stuff, and I was looking to see if you saw the whales there, but you never do. You just see the water.
Yeah.
But you never see the whales.
Right. Because we speculated that when they first announced that set, but they've used an awful lot. You notice we haven't seen engineering that big engineering set since they introduced this other set. They always spend their time here, which doesn't involve the wall. It's a practical set. But we knew at that point that there was water under the floor. And that's the first thing that comes to mind. And it's always there, but you never see any whales or dolphins or anything in there.
Wait a minute.
Okay, I'm waiting.
Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home. The probe comes looking for whales and finds none. Or was that specific to humpbacks?
I think it was specific to humpbacks because all whales would not make that same song.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, because I was going to say, fast forward.
Right.
And we've got everything but humpbacks. Okay. So we're using belugas for cetacean ops.
Right. I mean, we might have other whales besides, beluga whales, but I think it's that species which it was trying to communicate with, because it saw as an intelligent life form, was just not there anymore. And so
they were better than the rest of the whales.
Yeah.
Jerks. We don't have any humpbacks, but would you settle for a pack of minkies?
It's true. Humpback whales can be jerks. But anyway, but I want to mention that. So I don't know if we'll see them again, but I also thought it was interesting that they weren't dolphins. They were definitely, because when we first saw the beluga whales on Lower Decks, we thought, but they're supposed to be dolphins. Well, they're supposed to be dolphins. It's that little icon that's on the schematic shows, I believe, a dolphin. So I guess now it's beluga whales, because there you go. All right, it's time to come back from our first main mission with an appropriate sound effect. Sure, we'll go with that one. That sounds pretty good. And we're going to go out on our subspace chatter, but that's Trek news, and in order to start Subspace Chatter, we're contractually obliged to get permission from Charlie.
Who
Now,
signed that contract?
I know.
well, he's a tough negotiator. That's all I can
Sure
say.
thing, friend. I love Subspace Chatter.
Oh,
Let's
yay!
join.
Not
Our
that Charlie.
lawyer sucks.
Not that Charlie.
Charlie, other Charlie.
He's trying to get in there. Well, anyway, that's Mirror Charlie. All right, so why don't
Draw
we?
your own mustache this week.
That's right. Kids, draw that on the screen with a magic
It's
marker.
that little magnadoodle thing with the guy with the magnet.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. There he is.
Hey, he looks like he trimmed up this week.
I know.
I think
look
he
at-
had He had a cupcake or something.
A big bowl of chocolate ice cream.
and remember,
Right.
he can make us disappear. So don't poke too much fun now.
Yeah.
All
It's
right.
only
So
good
Craig,
sense, really.
you've got the first story, I believe. Let us
He's
know
the
what's
reason
up.
our websites have been having problems.
Yeah, probably. All right. So Star Trek is beaming back into New York Comic Con in a big way. On Saturday, October 11th, they're taking over the Empire stage for a massive panel featuring the cast and crew from both Strange New Worlds and the brand new Starfleet Academy. We're talking Ethan Peck, Celia Rose Gooding, and SNW crew, plus Holly Hunter. And get this, Paul Giamatti is making his first public appearance to talk about his role as the Academy villain.
Cool.
And that's not all. If you ever dreamed of joining Starfleet, now's your chance. They're setting up an immersive Starfleet Academy interactive experience right on the convention floor where you can sign up as a cadet in training, tackle some challenges, and even get a personalized ID badge and some exclusive swag.
Ooh.
But you have to know warp theory first.
Get to know warp theory. It sounds like New York Comic Con is going to be the place for Trek fans this year.
Well, that sounds. We will cover it, but not by going there. We will report on what is announced there. What I'm hoping for most out of it is an actual date for Starfleet Academy. That would
Yeah.
be nice.
Yes.
They got to announce it soon because they said early 2026, and
That's
I mean,
fast
so coming up.
approaching.
yeah,
All right, what do you got, Chuck?
Well, this goes right along with our glorious ratings of 4.5 Vulcans. According to a Screen Rant article, Star Trek Strange New Worlds executive producers Akiva Goldsman and Henry Alonso Myers believe the upcoming fourth season will be an improvement over the third. The article explains that production of the season 3 was impacted by the 2023 WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes, which caused delays and created issues. In contrast, season 4 had a much smoother production, leading to showrunners to feel more confident that the new season will be the best yet. Now, they did also say that it's already done. It's recorded and produced. So they didn't really have any lessons to learn from season 3. You can't go to the audience and go, well, let's take that from the feedback we got from season 3 and build on that in season 4, because it's already in the box and ready to
Right.
go. We have
Well-
links for this article and 2 others that are related to this, or is it 4 others? Man, there's a lot of links in here.
Oh yeah.
There's a whole bunch of links to this. You can find those over at thetopicistrek.com under episode 187.
Right. So I in the past I've written the articles, and I think now Chuck and Craig get to see the plethora of things you have to like plow through to get at some of this information. It's like
yeah.
you look at 4 articles, and this one tells you this much about the story, and that one mentions this thing, and that one mentions another thing.
One from Yahoo. There's one from Trek Movie. There's one from Screen Rant. It's all over the place.
Yep.
All right, Craig, what do you get first now?
All right. So I love Legos, and Lego and Paramount just made their historic Star Trek partnership official with a teaser of, Peghead, Captain Picard.
Hey, yeah.
It
can
seems the rest of the
stick 'em
details of
anywhere.
this. What's that?
You can stick them anywhere.
That's right.
That's right. It seems the rest of the details have escaped the clutches of the Romulan cloaking device. Rumors, backed by numerous leaks and even images, suggest that the flagship set will be the iconic USS Enterprise D, which I think we speculated was going to be the case,
Mhm.
from the Star Trek Next Generation. The collector focused model is said to be a massive 3,600 pieces and will feature detachable saucer section, of course. Leaks also indicate a full crew of minifigs will be on board, complete with charming accessories like Picard's teacup, Riker's trombone, Data's cat spot. All signs point to Black Friday release on November 28th, 2025. And for those who act fast, a free Type 15 shuttle pod with an exclusive Ensign Row minifig is rumored to be on the bonus gift with the purchase. So there's no official confirmation on the set itself, but we will keep our scanners peeled.
So I didn't find the Death Star, but I'm looking at the Star Wars Super Star Destroyer, and that is 3,152 pieces. So that is
More than that. That'll take you Christmas night.
Yeah, I was gonna
What was
say.
the Lego
Some-
Millennium Falcon? How many pieces did it have?
Uh,
That was supposed to be a big one too.
so yeah, so this is in line with these mega sets that takes you like, yeah, well, probably some people take an afternoon. I don't know, but would take me a lot longer than that.
Oh,
And speaking-
look, the Millennium Falcon has 7,541 pieces.
Whoa, that's a
Yeah.
lot of pieces. That's a lot of pieces.
That's a lot of stepping on
That's right.
in the dark.
So Master Replicas added 3 new ships, the Discovery, the Shenzhou, and the La Serena to their collection. They're proud to announce the 3 new ships. You can pre-order them now. Each of these die-cast models come with an official 48-page book that reveals the inside story behind the ship and the series in which it appears. So these won't be available for quite some time, but you can pre-order them now, as well as Picard's teacup, the little, almost looks like a beaker type of thing that he
Mhm.
has that he's always drinking out of. A set
We
of
used to
2
have
those.
some of those. Those were an actual thing that sold in stores.
Well, it's like the they reissued Janeway's mug, and that I forget, was that a it was a brand mug you could buy at
Mhm.
that time. And they also have I think it's Master Replicas is doing the mugs from Deep Space Nine, and again,
Oh.
I think that was
We
also
had some of those too.
yeah. I was gonna say I'm pretty sure that was also another thing. I know that at one point, friends gave us the picture that was also because of that same pyramid
Yeah.
type shape. So that was another thing that was available commercially, which makes sense. I mean, it looks futuristic, so you use it. You know, that's
Well, it's
totally
nice to know that the travel mugs from the 1980s made it into the 24th century.
it is nice.
Right.
All right, you got more for us, Chuck?
I do. We have another recent Screen Rant article that confirms Star Trek Strange New Worlds showrunners have retconned the Gorn,
What?
a major
What?
alien species, to reconcile their appearance in both Strange New Worlds and TOS. See, the producer, it's like, how did Kirk not know about this? Or how did the Gorn not know about that? When we just had the Terrarium episode that we'll be talking about shortly. So the producers state that an advanced alien species called the Metron tampered with the Gorn's memories, which could explain why Captain Kirk and his crew have no memory of previous encounters with the species. Shouldn't they have messed with both memories? Anyway, while the producers have an idea for a future story to fully explain the Gorn's retcon, one of them, Akiva Goldsman, has stated that he is, quote, done with the Gorn.
I'm done with the
Season
Gorn.
3. Yeah, they're so
Yeah.
hard to work with. Which suggests this story may not be told in the future seasons of Strange New Worlds.
Do
I
we
think
really need that?
Well, if you go to the web, a lot of people are upset. So I don't.
I mean, honestly, I know it was a different era, literally in time, and then
You
when they
have to
made
make
that,
everything fit hand in glove
it's
all
like,
the
how
time.
can they? Okay, you know, why do you need to do that? I think it's a waste.
Well, I think the problem is if you're supposed to be in the same universe as TOS, when you get to TOS and you hit Arena, they have no idea what the Gorn are. No clue. Spock has no clue. No one has a clue.
Mhm.
Yep.
So it's like, how is that possible when
You've
some of these
introduced him as a
people-
major player. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's been wars fought and other,
Oh, that
war-
part. I meant I was thinking about their look. You know,
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, the look look. Nobody says the Gorn was such an awesome costume in Teal. You know,
I have.
it's a
And Nagatu was an awesome costume. in
it's a-
TOS.
it's a fun costume. It's a costume you love to hate and love to make fun of and all that kind of stuff. So I think that the upgrade of the Gorn, that's something you have to live with a budget in 2025 versus no budget in 1967.
They're certainly not going to do the rubber suit thing in
Right.
2025.
So that part, I'm not worried about that.
No.
It really is
No,
just the issue
And
about
we've seen a similar
Chuck,
thing with the Klingons.
you're-
We've seen
You're wrong. We have seen that Gorn costume in
Oh, yeah.
2025
in
on
2025.
the cruise,
Ah,
yeah.
and the cruise
But
is
is it-
canon, by the way.
there are cannons on the ship.
Yes.
I had
Laser
no idea.
cannons.
I never saw them when I was. All right, Craig, quick, get us out of this. Even though you got us into this by
Yeah.
giving us the
All
last
right.
story.
I'll take it. I'll take you out. So if you've been jonesing for more 7 of 9 and your favorite reformed Borg, Hugh, I have some good news for you.
Ooh.
So the free-to-play MMO Star Trek Online is dropping its 34th season, which is amazing, called Unleashed. And it is bringing back the dream team of fresh voice work from Jerry Ryan and Jonathan DeLarco themselves. So players will be teaming up with Seven and Hugh on a mission to snatch a powerful baddie, and it all kicks off at Deep Space Nine of all places. So Jerry Ryan even teased that this at the Vegas convention, calling it a little Borg-centric situation, which is the most 7 of 9 way to describe what sounds like a pretty big deal. So if you're ready to answer a distress call and fight alongside Seven and at Kennemer HQ, you can beam in on a PC starting September 23rd and with a console release in November. And it sounds like it's going to be fun.
All right, yeah. And there's another game coming out we didn't get a chance to talk about, but there's a Star Trek Voyager
Yes.
game coming out as well. So
Ooh.
that will be interesting. I'm sure we'll talk about that when it does come out.
There was a
Although,
teaser for that video teaser I watched, and it was pretty good. Because remember the previous Voyager game, a lot of people loved that because of the way its gameplay, kind of like the James Bond GoldenEye. You know, after all these years, people still love that one, the way it played. And so, yeah, I know the Voyager, the previous Voyager game was good. So I'm hoping good things for this one.
so expectations are high, is what you're saying.
Any
At least
news
for me.
from Alberta, Canada?
I didn't have a chance to check on them, New York and such. So
Are they
we
still
will-
there?
They're still there. Yes, that much I
Winter's
can
coming.
assure you.
Winter's coming.
No, now we're going into the topic is Game of Thrones, so we don't want to do that.
Winter's coming.
All right, but it's
Thanks for
time
picking
to.
that up, by the way.
It is time to. One of my favorite parts of the show, although it's bittersweet when it's Mirror Charlie, but it's time to say goodbye, Charlie.
Thanks for having me along. It was fun. But now my Phasian step-parents are calling, so I gotta go! 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 Go!
The street lights came on. I gotta go home.
I thought he'd never leave.
Yeah. Just keeps watching us in the corner talk about the news.
I know. They never let me play along. Such jerks.
Thank goodness that contract doesn't involve royalties.
I know. All
Wait,
right.
wait a minute. It does. Our
Oh,
attorney
no!
sucks.
Oh man, we got to get somebody new.
Yeah.
Where's Sam Cogley? Quick.
Well, I meant Charlie wanted royalties every time we play his clip.
Oh. What does he need money for? He doesn't need money. He just make things.
Yeah.
He wanted
All
to buy Yeoman Rand some nice flowers.
I see. All right. Well, it's time to head on a main mission part 2 with an appropriate sound effect. What do you got for us?
Let's go with
One from the mixer, not from. There we go. I'm not receiving anything.
Yeah, I was going to say it's just
That kind of goes along with this episode because they didn't have very good communications.
yes, indeed. All right. So Craig, why don't you give us the lowdown on this episode?
All right. Of course, we're talking about Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Season 3, Episode 9, Terrarium, written by Alan B. McElroy and directed by Andrew Coots. And pulled through a wormhole, Ortegas is left on a stranded on a toxic moon. She must face her fears and defy her deepest beliefs to survive.
Okay. So I wanted, since we talked about it during Subspace Chatter, one of my notes about this was the Metrons that show up at the end. And I think this is, first of all, it's very indicative of the season and the episode we just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
And another episode that we talked about earlier, which was Wedding Bell Blues, that they're just pulling from other stuff at this point, because the ending of this episode is the ending of Arena.
Yep.
We just go through exactly the conversation between the Metron and the person who was involved with it, and they talk about stuff. And okay, so the Metron says that essentially, I think I wrote down, we need more data to determine if humans and Gorns will ever find peace. You are not ready to meet us. You will not remember me. And someday we may need to reset your perception of the Gorn as well. And it's like, okay, so you're trying to back out of the Gorn story by doing this, but it just rings as, just like the end of Wedding Bell Blues, you're just taking the ending of a
Gluing it
TOS
on.
episode and just using it.
Yep.
And I think
Yeah.
that's why this talk about, with the writer's strike and other stuff going on, that I think this shows that this isn't typically what Strange New Worlds has done. And they did it a lot this season.
For the most part, I enjoyed this episode. It had that enemy mine kind of feeling to it, where you're put in this situation with your enemy and you've got to, like it says, face down your fears and put away the bias. But yeah, it felt really cheap at the end.
Yeah, it reminded me also of actually that came out before Enemy Mine came out as a movie. I don't remember when the book came out, but an episode of Galactica 1980, which is probably the best episode of Galactica 1980, which was a standalone episode about Starbuck.
Yeah, Starbuck was stranded on a planet.
Right, and he rebuilds a Cylon, and they become, a team.
Yeah.
And you get K2SO?
No.
Bonus points if you know the Cylon's name.
I do not remember.
Doug.
Yeah, hopefully not. Susan. No.
Yeah. I was hoping you knew because I don't know. I don't remember.
I
remember
can look it
calling
up.
something.
I'm happy to remember that the episode existed because
Yes.
so yeah, it's a trope of sorts, but I think that they handle it well. And I think one of the things I like about the episode is that, first of all, you have some actual science going on in here.
Mhm.
You have Ortegas, realizing I have to have food, I have to have water, I have to have shelter. Okay, I've got shelter. How do I get the other things? Because the supplies, the rations were set on fire during the crash. So she sets up essentially something to collect moisture in the air.
Mhm.
And so she's got that solved, and then she has to go out and find food. But she also realizes that she's doesn't have much time to work all this stuff out, because she realizes that the moon she's on is an
Highly elliptical orbit. Yeah.
right, and it's going to pass right through the outer atmosphere of the gas giant with lots of toxic and bad things happening.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really good to say, look, here's some actual science and things you'd actually have to do, and that it's just doesn't all come from materialize on the replicator, and you have to actually do things to survive.
If that were the case, did they build in any? There'd be massive seismic activity.
Well, if you recall, at one point there are shifts that happen in it.
Yeah, her shuttle pod gets sucked into a hole. Yeah.
Right. The thing that I thought was, what is like, okay, you got a survival kit. you have the worst monoscope in the world that they issue you in
Yeah.
that set. It's like, what is that thing supposed to be?
You could be better off with
You know
your
what-
bare eyes. Yeah.
I thought it looked like the translator that Kirk was carrying around.
I
a
mean,
little bit.
she's essentially looking through this thing almost like if you spin it, there's a kaleidoscope that you can
Like a
see.
lot of-
Toilet paper tube.
No, remember the translator that Kirk had in Arena?
Yeah.
That's what it looked like. I mean,
Which
it's
looked
just
more
had
like
the-
a men's groomer.
yeah, right.
That's how he got those pointy sideburns too.
And her
Yeah.
supply of sterno, essentially, of course, the flame comes out of, say it with me, a delta shield. I'm going,
Oh.
oh,
Oh yeah,
please don't."
Star Trek's really on brand.
Hey, they had the boxing
Starfleet.
gloves in the last
But
episode.
then the last one's like, I hope those things are made out of metal because you hit somebody with those gloves. It's supposed to be just like
Yeah.
for sparring. What's going on here?
And it looks like they store their rations in the engine compartment.
Well, there's your problem right there.
In a Rubbermaid tub.
Like that happens.
Hey, you put it next to the engine, it keeps the lunch warm. We learned that when we worked on our boat.
Right, it's heating
So-
up your lunch.
I mean,
Like-
there are many things wrong with this episode, even though I still thought there was a lot good in it. Yeah, would Pike really let someone off that easy who fudged the numbers and potentially put the entire crew in jeopardy? When Uhura says, "Oh yeah, look, 61%."
Yeah,
Yeah.
That was like a little over the top.
And he knows it too.
Yeah,
that
and
was
he
a
still-
cheap. That was a cheap thing for Uhura to pull. I mean, in the story. I mean, it seems like it's beneath her. They should have had her figure something out. I don't know.
Yeah, and Spock was there for all these tests. Why didn't he notice that part was? He said, "Wait a minute, that's not the number. It's 54%. What are you doing?"
Hey, can you imagine? Spud goes, "Wait, that number was different earlier. Did the parameters change?"
Yeah, I hit it on the side, and the numbers they changed. Yeah, that's it.
Lieutenant Uhura, perhaps you were involved in some way with the 2020 presidential election.
I believe you were hoping to instill some mayhem and foolishness in your numbers.
Right, mayhem and foolish.
So,
Hey, I will say that I think that the highlight for this show was Melissa Navia. 'Cause I
Yes,
think she did a
we
great job.
finally get the Ortega story that people said,
Yeah.
"When are we going to get an Ortega story?" Well, this is essentially
Yep.
an Ortega story. Like for most part, it's just her
Mhm.
interacting with the Gorn.
Did you feel
Well,
bad when
and
the
some guy in a
She-Gorn
green
died at
s-
the end?
Huh?
Did you feel bad for the She-Gorn at the end?
I did even though it's funny because I knew the end was coming because you have Lon with a phaser rifle beaming down to the planet. And as soon as she sees the Gorn, I'm saying, as soon as she sees the Gorn, she's just going to kill it immediately.
Yeah.
There's not going to be any
Shoot
question.
Well,
first,
that's
ask
her
questions later.
nature. Yeah, that's her thing.
Yep.
So it's like, okay, I know this is coming, but and I felt like you got to that ending in an honest way. Like you slowly build up this relationship between the two of them. You don't rush it. You spend most of the episode on the planet. You go to the ship for certain scenes, but most of the time is spent just Ortegas and the Gorn.
Mhm.
And I thought that built up really well to
Mhm.
a conclusion that I don't know if you guys saw it coming, but it's just like it worked, even though it was the right thing and it was the wrong thing to do.
I think
You know?
I think about halfway through it, I was like, "Are they redoing Arena or retelling that kind of story?"
No,
And I
because
wasn't
Arena wasn't about cooperation.
What's that?
Arena was not about cooperation.
No. But she's stranded on the planet with a Gorn. How many
Right.
times has
That's
that happened?
about where the commonality and there's a Metron at the end. That's about where the comedy.
Right. No, I'm
commonality
just
ends.
saying I had thoughts
Yeah.
that about halfway through, I was like, is that what they're trying to play out here?
Right.
And
Well, in a way they are, because it is a test that the Metrons have set up to see what happens when you put together a Gorn and a human. It's a new
Yeah.
sitcom.
Turned out a lot better in Terrarium than it did in Arena.
Well, did it? Because the Gorn died in Terrarium and didn't die.
Right, but you're
Arena.
given a spirit of cooperation in this
Yeah.
one. The other one, you're given a spirit of conflict.
Right. Well, it's also interesting. As much as I don't like the ending, I like the fact that the Metrons are now confused, going, okay, you were able to put aside your fears and cooperate, but your crewmate shoot first and ask questions later
Yeah.
kind of ruined the whole thing for you.
It reminds me of a podcast I was listening to this morning about German POWs. And the ones that were taken east to the Soviet Union were not treated very well. The ones that were taken by the Americans and sent to the US were treated much better, in so much that they would write home going, "Hey, this isn't a bad place. In fact, many of the people have the same last name as we do. Schultz and they said they're very much like us. They have a good work ethic. They would come to the prisons and put on like school plays for the prisoners, and afterwards, some of them immigrated back from Germany to the US, and others kept in touch over long years. So it was a bit like that, in that you've got this dichotomy of how the same group is treated differently in different situations.
Mm-hmm. Right. So I can understand why they'd be confused, going, well, how come you could and she couldn't? And we got to do some more tests here. And so then that's when they're saying, okay, indicates that the Metrons are at some point going to reset this thing. And I thought, well, first of all, you get to say, Ortegas, you get to keep your memories of this experience, not me. You don't get to remember me, but what happened on the planet. And then they're saying, oh, by the way, we're going to reset things, so you probably won't ultimately remember the situation.
Right.
It's like, okay, great.
Can't promise anything, but
And you had to keep, one of the thing they show, I think either at the very last shot or near the very last shot, you had to have been paying attention, I think, to recognize what happens in that last scene, that you have Ortega's, you're seeing her room, you see the motorcycle in the shot, and you get to see all these different things that have to do with flying and with Starfleet and her brother. And she puts the game piece that she was supposed to have eaten on the shelf as well. Then you focus in on that. It's like, to remember her, it's a memento that means as much to her as all these other things do.
Yep. Yeah.
And so there's, as much as I don't like the fact that they ripped off the ending for it, I thought that it was very well done in a lot of regards.
Yeah, I liked it until the end. Like, I was like, it's just like watching Star Trek Into Darkness, and you go, oh, they're just retelling Khan.
Yeah.
If
you had made him Khan and done something else, that would have been okay. It would have been better,
Or if you left him as John Harrison, I would have been fine.
Yeah.
That was my whole theory. Just leave him as, and then maybe show Khan in the coffin at the end. As John was one of his henchmen.
Because he could be another augment. He could be some other, something. So I agree. But we'll be talking about Khan soon enough, won't we? When we talk about Khan.
Yes, I need to catch up with that, by the way.
First 3 episodes are out, so we will be covering that. We'll probably be covering that like we're doing regular episode of like 2 chapters.
There's your Starfleet.
The Delta Shield. It's like, no.
This is the most efficient shape for a fire.
Exit through the gift shop, pick up your little space heater.
Hey, how about that guy from Raiders of the Lost Ark? He grabs it and he's got the Delta.
Yeah, really.
That's what I'm saying.
The one thing I didn't like that leapt out at me as why would you, is that, so Ortega sees the light off in the distance and she goes to the cave and she's looking around the cave, and then she turns around and she uses her ever so wonderful official, Starfleet issued telescope to see the Gorn coming, and she leaves the light on her uniform while she's doing it.
Yeah.
I'm hiding.
You gotta see.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was like, but yeah, aside from that, and I thought the pit monsters were fun. You know, they were just kind of like this thing to have there. So
Yep.
you basically have a giant centipede.
Well, they had to
That's-
eat something.
Yeah. So, you know, I thought that was good. And, you know, you get the scene where
And what did they live on?
the tears of I don't know, the planet. I don't
They're
know.
Lost hopes and
underground, so
dreams.
there's a whole city underground. Nobody told
That's right. So it's like this,
Vegas.
they're all partying down there and say,
Yeah.
hey, what's all that racket
Champagne.
upstairs?
If I
There's the
shave my head
champagne zone.
next year, maybe I can dress up as one of those Metrons. He was bald at the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Well,
I
see,
always wanted this, shiny toga looking thing.
I was
The
gonna say.
original Metron
Chucky.
was not the TOS Metron was not.
No, he had like laurel leaves.
That's right.
Oh.
That's right.
Wrap up in ratings.
Okay. Well, before we rate, well, first of all, any other thoughts on the episode? I should ask that first.
I
Nope.
think for the most part, I liked it, except for that I felt cheap at the end.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, so we'll go in the reverse order. So I believe that means we begin with you, Chuck, right? Yeah.
What are we rating it on? Sandworms?
Pit monsters.
Pit monsters.
A
Because this is
dune?
Pit Monsters sushi.
Because that's the way Ortega says, well, you may enjoy eating, pit monster sushi, but I have to cook this thing.
Yeah, that's right.
How do we know the Gorn like Pit Monster sushi?
Because they don't like fire, clearly.
Agree.
Yes.
I was going to start answering questions that way.
Disagree. Disagree.
Reminded me of the bit from Tron. Yes, yes, yes. No, 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 no.
Yeah.
All righty. I'm going to give this one a 7.5. Overall, I like the story. Didn't like the end. I think we all agree on that part. I thought the focus was good. I mean, they made you care about that She-Gorn at the end. So that when it got killed, they're like, oh man, why couldn't we just bring it home and name it?
Mhm.
Because it needs a
Can I
name.
keep it? Can I keep it?
I'm calling it Susan.
All right, but you have to walk it, you understand, and take
Yeah.
care of it.
And feed it.
7.5 Pit Monster sushis.
Okay, how many pit monster sushis for you, Craig?
I'm also going to say 7.5. As we talked about, I said earlier, for the most part, I liked the episode. I especially like Melissa's performance. You know, when she's by herself trying to talk out what's going to happen, and I think she did a fantastic job.
As we all do.
As
we all do. We talk out our
Yeah.
problems.
Mhm.
Well, and even when she ended up caring for the Gorn, which is something that you thought that she wouldn't be able to do after the interactions she's had with him lately. And I will also add that when she got out of that shuttle and you actually see the terrain and a big planet above, the gas giant and everything, it looked pretty barren. I was like, what in the hell is she going to eat? And I started to feel a little uncomfortable with that situation myself. Like,
Yeah.
what are you going to find?
I was going to say, are we getting rid of Ortegas in this episode? Because
That crossed my mind too.
That
I
did
thought,
too.
oh, this is
Right.
'Cause
Because eventually
she's got to go at some point.
we got to get up to the TOS crew. Are we going to start thinning out the Strange New Worlds crew at some point?
right.
So that did cross my mind at one point. I was
Yep.
like, I don't know about that. But
Yeah, she's just gone. I know
so 7.5 Pit Monster sushi pieces.
Yeah, and I'm gonna
I'll have the
chime in again.
California roll, please.
Yes, really. No, so I'm sorry, it's a Toronto roll. But anyway, I'm also going to give it 7.5. The same ups and downs that of the way this one went that you guys have already talked about. That I felt like the Ortega story was really strong, and I just wish they hadn't cheaped out on the ending of it. And I also, I had some issues with the fudging of the numbers that Uhura did. And that there was no real consequences to it, which there really should have been some consequences.
Yeah, I was expecting her to work hard and figure out what the and honestly figure it out.
Now she's got to go have therapy sessions with Una.
That's right. All righty. So that wraps up Terrarium, which leaves us with the season finale the next time we are doing episodes. And then after that, we will begin talking about Khan, SETI Alpha 5, my : Star Trek :
Hey, no.
Whoa.
We're gonna have colonoscopies
I
around.
don't know.
Fire probe.
We already reviewed Probe.
Yeah, please, not again.
Hey, by the way, just to throw this out there, that there's a new comic series from IDW. I think it was The Last Starship.
Mhm.
I think it's a Kirk-centric story. I'm gonna go buy it and check it out.
Okay, cool. We'll see if we can put that in as because we're also going to do a book review coming up, and we'll let you know as we approach that the name of the book that we will be reviewing if you want to check that out. But yeah, I'd love to figure out a way and do some of the comic stuff, especially if this is a new series. Start right from the beginning to cover that
Mhm.
one. That would be
It's
cool.
number one, came out as of us recording this today.
Excellent, excellent. All right, but that meanwhile kind of wraps things up with time to refill the dilithium chamber and try to warp on out of here. You can find me, Clinton, at Comedy Forecast, all one word with the number 4. And I've gone back to doing Dog Days of Podcasting. However, since that's over, I'm now doing Dog Days of Pumpkin Spice Season. So the rest of the stories that were scheduled for Dog Days of Podcasting will be coming out. The first one is already out, and some more will be coming, probably one coming out this weekend. So get set for that, and we will get through the rest of those stories by the end of October. And who speaks for you guys?
I can do it. So yeah. So you can find Chuck and I over at the Technorama Podcast. You can just search for Technorama Podcast, or you can go to chuckchat.com/Technorama and you can find us there. And our big thing this week is on Friday, the 26th, we have our interview 20 years in the making with Adam Savage again.
A remake.
A remake. Yeah. We're taking a mulligan on the first one.
Yeah, we do. We do.
Yeah, he was kind enough. Adam Savage was kind enough to give us another chance.
Another chance. That's
It
right.
was like
Yeah.
one of us finally got out of prison after serving 20 years, and we said, "Can we talk to you again?"
Yeah.
Okay, as long as the distance, I'm fine with that. So
Yeah. But
No,
no, we
it's-
had a good time
it's
talking
good.
with them, and I hope it comes across in the video. So,
Video will be on YouTube. Audio will be on our regular podcast feed. Just search
Mhm.
for Technorama Podcast.
all right, very cool, very cool. All right, so it's time to hit the theme, boys.
Can do.
If you like the show, please be sure to tell a friend about it and subscribe so you never miss an episode. We love to hear from you. And the other thing I said, which I don't know what it was, follow us on Blue Sky at The Topic is Trek. Visit our Facebook page, or please, you can call us at 816-TREKKER. That's 816-873-5537. Until next time, on behalf of Chuck, Craig, and myself, I'm Clinton, thanking you for listening. And as we always say here on The Topic is Trek, don't
Don't
put
put
on
on
the
the
red
red shirt.
shirt. Like this guy. We'll do that.
whales.
Audio is done.
Yay!
All right.
Alrighty.
And there was much celebrating.
Huzzah.
Hey.
All right, we are going to end the stream here. Thank you for watching, and we will catch you next time when we'll do the dramatic season conclusion, not series conclusion, but season conclusion of Strange New Worlds Season 3. And probably either we'll talk more about just the season overall, or we may begin the Khan audio novel. That is available pretty much any place you can get podcasts, and you don't have to pay. It is a free thing to listen to. It's on YouTube, it's on Spotify, it's all over the place. So
The voice acting is really good. I'm enjoying it.
Tim Russ does a great Tuvok, doesn't he?
yeah, and that guy that's doing Captain Sulu is pretty good too.
He's
So,
okay.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Bye.
Remember,
Bye-bye.
no te pongas la camisa roja.
Yeah, what he said.
Don't put on the red shirt.
No.
Yeah.